made a raid. And he said, yeah, go away. And they did.
Yeah. I didn't even know I did that. Till now.
Now you're self-conscious, right?
Yeah. Can't say nah anymore.
Yeah, that says, yeah.
It's a good t-shirt.
It
You
is.
just got to figure out how to spell it.
I don't think there is. It's just a sound. I don't think it.
We have a little push button like have on those cars you open up and it makes a sound.
But you all you Kiwi people make that sound.
Oh, really?
Yeah, anytime I come across somebody like, from that place.
Hey guys, people coming back now.
Oh, okay.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
We
sorry
had
about
technical difficulties. What's up, Zero? Vincent, Buffalo Campo, Dripping Glass,
We missed
Man-Made
you all.
Muscle, Chris
We
Greenaway,
did for a solid 8 minutes.
Charles Manson, Bill McKiska, Terrence Seymour, Kevin. Yes, we're back. Sorry about that. I had a glitch. Does Kiwi have his own DeSoto?
DeSoto? No, not a DeSoto.
Not a DeSoto.
that. Oh, I think they're referring to my
Our cat, yeah.
So what kind of pets do you have?
Oh,
Let's talk.
no pets.
Let's talk about your personal. Let's get
Personal
deep into
life.
your personal life. No, not that deep. I am homo paranoid.
Corey Littlejohn says hi. I'm back, Tony. Charles Manson has
No,
a
no
question.
pets. We did have pets. We're sworn off pets. Yeah.
Sworn off pets.
Yeah.
Pets are rough. They take a lot of time. They pee on the floor. Let's see.
So do I.
You better not.
Oh, it's a little TMI.
Charles Manson says, Kiwi,
Yes.
what do you think of Slaghammer's body work? Be honest here.
Horrifying.
If
It's
if
horrifying.
I think if we brought it here, we'd probably have a little bit of work to do before we could paint it.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
bit.
Hey, I mean, it's not a bad effort, really. You know,
For
nobody that was working on it was a body work
No.
guy, a body builder. So, and considering what you started with, yeah, it was beat to death, wasn't it? I didn't actually see it before you started on it, but what I've been told, it
You
was,
would have been horrified.
yeah,
You
probably.
would have been horrified. No, it's well, that
The
one.
first thing I
story
would have
is
done was throw out your flux core welder.
What's the matter with my flux core welder? I do nice work on my flux core. Fluxy, me and Fluxy, we built that whole car.
Yeah, well, perhaps
He's
Kev
like,
could
"Me."
come over and use it for you.
Kevin catch fire.
Well, there is that. He's primarily polystyrene, but don't tell anybody that.
Chris Greenaway wants to know, are the 72, 73 Mustang AC system the same as 72 Torino / Montego?
Chris Greenaway has the only Montego left on the planet. And
No, I've seen a couple of those around. They're kind of
Really?
cool. Yeah. I couldn't say definitively. I'm sorry. They're probably very, very close.
they're going to have the
But
same.
you only need a few changes in the dash for where stuff's coming out. The AC outlets coming through the dash and stuff like that can be different. But I would say everything engine bay wise would be the same. Probably under
The
dash.
expansion valve's going to be the same.
Yeah.
All of that I would imagine all the critical components are going to be the same, but the way they're configured is going to be different.
And how Mercury had a habit of making their cars
Stupid.
just that,
Stupid. I mean,
just different enough so that it wasn't a Ford in drag. You know.
yeah, but they still use a lot of parts bin parts.
Yeah.
Ford parts bin parts. So like I would imagine it, but they use the same compressor.
Yeah, compressor and stuff would be the same, and obviously engine bracketry and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And likely the core support's the same, so all that stuff would all fit in the same. But it'd be pretty close.
It'd be
worth a
close
try.
enough to adapt.
Yeah, it'd
You had
be
to.
worth a try. You certainly wouldn't want to try and get one out of an Impala and make that fit. So yeah.
XLR 8N99 says, he says, accelerating 99. Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
Good.
Sean Russell wants to know what happened. I got a notification from YouTube and it just kind of messed up my whole thing. So we had to start over. That's what happened. Uncle Tony and Fluxy go way back.
Yeah. I went from I used to gas weld everything. I'm a
Right.
gas welding fiend.
Right.
You name it, I'll gas weld. And then gas started getting hard to hard to get. It was a pain in the ass, you know, they were like, when we first moved here, there were like 5 places in town, I
Oh,
did, so
okay.
the bottle filled, now there's only one. And the price of it went from, you know, like $18, $20 a fill to like $60 a fill. I'm like, this is a little crazy. So I started playing with like electric welding, and I was like,
Right.
this is just too much, you know, this is just too many things. And then somebody gave me a little flux core welder, and I says, well, I like the simplicity of this.
Right.
And I started playing with it, and ever since, I've been, for I guess, 15 years now, just flux core the world.
Huh. Oh well.
You can actually weld very nicely
I have.
with oxyacetylene. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an artist.
Yeah, he does really nice welding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd never know it.
You never know. But, no, but that
Wait,
is
did you
something
know? He
I
does
took-
beautiful
Once you
welds.
chip all the slag away.
No slag.
No
There's never any
slag.
There's got to be slag with the flux core welder.
Oh, with a
No,
flux core?
yeah.
Yeah.
Spatter, not slag.
Spatter.
Yeah. You get,
So that car should be called Spatter Hammond.
yeah.
Spatter him. Coda Improvement wants to know, Kiwi, how did you get into building cars?
Yeah, it's been a passion of mine since I was probably 13, 14. You know, my dad helped me build my first car, and you know there were several after that, and yeah, it just kept on rolling. Yeah, just a passion for particularly old American cars. I mean, I like all sorts of cars, but American cars I like. Yeah, just love that old steel, and you know, making them and changing them a little and trying to improve them. And, yeah.
Or changing them a lot. I mean,
Well, a
the
lot,
things that
yeah.
I've seen you do are just extensive.
Yeah,
Whatever happened with that Cougar, the fastback Cougar?
that's coming back.
People ask me about that all the time.
I mean, I told the guy probably 3 months ago I should be able to get it in next month, and it's still not here.
If you guys aren't familiar,
It's
he took
busy.
his 68 Cougar or 60?
67 Cougar, and we put a 69 Mustang roof on it, the fastback roof.
Which sounds weird, right? Until you see it. It's
Yeah.
perfect. It's beautiful.
Yeah. But that will be coming up. We actually did that before I started my YouTube channel.
Right.
So really, and the only place you would have seen it is like on Instagram, a little bit on Facebook, that kind of thing, just photos.
Or maybe my channel.
Oh yeah, you did. Sorry. Yeah. Of course, that's right. I was talking about me.
It's all about me.
That's right.
Buff Del Campo wants to know, what was your first car?
Oh, do I have to say that?
That's the legendary Buff Del Campo. That's not just any Buff Del Campo. That's the original Buff Del Campo.
Ah.
And he's working on Turbo Del Campo now. Yeah.
The first car I ever had was a Fiat Bambina.
Fiat, fix it again, Tony.
That's right. The Fiat Bambina.
A Fiat Bambina, 500. Have you ever seen one of those?
No.
Little teeny tiny Italian car, which are worth a fortune now. I think I sold it for like $500. Now they're worth 30, 40,000 easy. But it's a little teeny tiny Italian car that was all I could afford. 500cc 2-cylinder engine.
Was it very Vespa-like?
It sounded a bit Vespa, but no, a little bit bigger than a Vespa. But yeah.
No, but it means did it have that kind of head to it, that kind of styling?
Well, they actually made a Fiat, a retro Fiat Bambina, like recently in the last like 7 or 8 years, and which was like a modernised version of the original Bambina. They're a little round, like a little, almost like a featureless Volkswagen Beetle, like a Volkswagen Beetle kind of has the fenders like that, and then
Yeah, that's what I mean by Vespa
the
style. Very
Bambina was
curvy
was
and-
like if you took the fenders off a Volkswagen Beetle and kind of just flattened them out and tucked the wheels underneath. It was just very, very bland, but they're very fashionable now. There you go. Don't even throw anything away. You just never know when enough decades go by and people will want it.
Clap wants to know, a question for Kiwi. When did you move to the U.S. and do you love it or hate it?
2008, we moved here. It was the January 2008. And I'd have to say I love it here. I mean, it's not perfect, but nowhere is. There's issues they have. And back in New Zealand, they got their issues too. There's no perfect place, but I mean, I've enjoyed it here. I still do. It fits me. I think my kids miss New Zealand a little bit. I know my wife misses New Zealand probably quite a bit. And, we probably end up back there eventually at some point. But for the moment, we're just having fun.
You need I piss red, white, and blue. The doctor says it's a bladder infection.
J. Russell
Yeah,
Finch
there's news
says,
from the clinic, Tony.
is Kiwi surprised at what can be allowed to drive on American roads?
Staggered would be a better explanation. Absolutely staggered.
When he calls me in to look these things over that we make the videos on, you can tell he's like shell-shocked by it. This just shouldn't be, this can't be,
No,
but there it is.
It's just amazing what gets allowed to drive around on the road, and you know the government here really is not too interested. It's you're out, they throw you out there, you fend for yourself. You know, if you've got a piece of junk that breaks and crashes into someone, well, you're going to get your ass screwed off. So,
Which only keeps the lawyers employed, and since the government is made up of lawyers, it's like, well, why not? You know?
but you know, the reason it's so much tougher to get vehicles on the road in New Zealand is all your hospital stuff's paid for by the government.
Oh, yeah, so they're not playing games.
So the government go, well, we don't want you driving dangerous cars because that costs us money. So then they put all these restrictions on it, and they've really gone the other way, and it's so tough to get a car, especially an old hot rod on the road in New Zealand. So tough. They really put you through hoops. I could sit here for an hour telling you the drama. I took a Mustang back for my dad, and it was nice. It was like it was much more closer to stock than my Mustang, but that level of build.
Right.
And I spent 2 solid weeks on it, doing the stuff they wanted me to get it up to spec. And I had to leave. I had 2 weeks to go over there and get it done, and I ran out of time.
See, I think we need a basic safety inspection. I'm anti-government, I'm anti-bureaucracy, I'm anti-interference, I'm anti-all of those things. But I'm pro-common sense and anti-thievery. So the people who get involved in this business as flippers are thieves. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Everything that we've showcased that's come through, it's pure thievery. So
Everybody knows you don't put corrugated cardboard in a chassis. But, you know, no matter if you know what a car is, you know that's wrong.
Obviously, but there needs to be, for people who claim to be builders, right? There needs to be some sort of standard or some sort of inspection. It doesn't have to be over the top. Just basic. Is there cardboard holding the frame together? Is the frame held together with tape? I mean, just simple stuff like that. Or the brake line's really stretched out and drooped over the exhaust. You know, it's like just little stuff. Just go through real quick, front to back. You know what I mean? But
Let's see. Glenn Nickerson says, has Uncle Tony made your life more interesting or more stressful?
Depends on the day. No, definitely more interesting. Definitely more interesting. Yeah, it's always entertaining.
we have fun together.
Yeah.
I haven't thrown you under a bus yet.
No.
Should my turn will come?
Well, you're big. You're such a problem. You know? I throw all these other people under the bus, but you, no, never.
No, well, I'll try not to give you too much opportunity.
Okay.
What Sandra to be says, Kiwi, how was the knee replacement? I had one 4 years ago.
It's pretty good actually. It clicks and clunks a bit. Yeah. But yeah, when I was on vacation, we were over in Europe, and I wasn't watching where I was going, trying to look at my phone and figure out where the hell we were going. And took a header off a curb, man, just went down flat on my knees and hands, and like in front of a taxi. You know, it was quite spectacular apparently from all accounts. Hopped up and walked off. So yeah, no, I was like, oh my knee, but it was fine. No, it's pretty good. It does make it interesting going through the airport though, because the buses go off here. You see the look on their faces, the TSA guys. You know, it's not like you leave a belt on, or you know, you got something metal on your pocket. You know, they'll just go, oh, what have you got in your pockets? But when I go through, it's like if they're not even watching me, they're like, who's that? He's got a bomb.
Mexican Spec wants to know if anyone has anyone contacted the shop that built the red and white truck to get their side?
Is that what I did?
Has anybody contacted the shop that built the red and white truck to get their side?
No.
No.
There is no side to that. Here's the side, okay? They let that thing go with blatant safety issues. The gas tank was held floating by 4 bolts, floating, not set down, but hung from 4 bolts, open at the top, completely open at the top. There was, there's no, it's indefensible. I don't care if the budget was free. You know what I mean? Oh, nothing, no money. You still don't let something like that leave your shop. It's freaking dangerous, not only to the person who's driving it, but to whoever has the misfortune of tapping it at 20 miles an hour and forcing that tank to spill all over the place.
Some of the feedback that seemed to come through in your comments on that truck, there was an element of people that, were coming to the defence of this other shop.
Right.
And saying, well, what about their side of the story? And what if the customer didn't have enough money to do it properly? And my response is, if the customer hasn't got enough money to do it properly,
Don't do
they
it.
don't have enough money to do it.
Right.
It's that simple. That you don't. If you go to the dentist and say my tooth hurts, and he said, well, it's going to be $1,000, and you say, well, I only got 500. They don't kind of do a half job on it and leave it hurting like that. It doesn't make sense. The customer can't dictate the quality of work.
And we talked about this.
Yeah.
Or let's just say it's a $50,000 job, but the customer's got $20,000. So you tell them, okay, well, we can do this for that, and here are the important things you need to do first. So you do it in phases. So you don't make it pretty at first, you make it sound at first. You work with it in phases. And they didn't do that. All they did was make it pretty, and they left it insanely dangerous.
Okay, Quap says, question for both of the quote, old farts, end quote. If you could have unlimited money, what car would you build and why would you build it? Unlimited money.
That's a tricky one.
I can answer it. Money, when it comes to cars, the cost of the car has never been an object to me. If I want it, I have it. There's a lot of things that I don't, and there's a lot of things that I like, but I don't have because I don't want to be a caretaker. Right? So in other words, like I love a Hemi Dart. I'd love to have an original factory Hemi Dart. I wouldn't really want to.
Did they make a Hemi Dart?
What's that?
Did they make a Hemi?
Yeah,
Hemi
50,
Dart.
yeah.
Oh wow.
50 Hemi Dart, well 55 Darts and Barracudas, 1968. But I don't want to be a caretaker to the thing. I don't want to have anything that I've got to worry about or stress about. So for me, it's not a matter of money. If I had the money I have now, or I had $1 billion, I build the same stuff the same way because that's where I find my enjoyment. And I think you're probably about the same way.
Yeah, to a degree. There's part of me that would like to have something really special.
Like what?
I'd like to build something like just super fast and all-wheel drive.
Like a rally sort of.
Not really a rally, but a muscle car that was all-wheel drive. And it's not, a few people have done that kind of thing before, but just to give you that traction and that launch that an all-wheel drive has. And yeah, I could get quite carried away with some technology.
Okay.
If the money was no object, but it always is. But yeah, exactly what car, I did toy with the idea of the Barracuda, putting that body on the Chrysler 300. They made an all-wheel drive Hemi, one of those, 5.7 Hemi,
So
all-wheel drive. Got a 440 and 4-speed.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we could do that too.
So, yeah. It'd probably be a Mopar. If I had to choose, people say, oh, you're a Ford guy, and I'm not an absolute Ford guy, and I'm not a Ford guy. I like cool cars. And, they come with a lot of different badges on them.
Well, to an American, Americans are very brand conscious. I'm a Mopar guy, as a Ford guy, as a Chevy guy, as a Pontiac guy. But you being a foreigner,
That's me.
you're big as American cars.
Yeah.
So it's like we subdivide them into these little groups, and you see them as a bigger picture. It's just.
I guess, yeah.
Well, I see the way you work between the makes, and you're completely neutral to all of them. You show them the same attention.
So somebody once told me I'm a bit of a slut when it comes to cars.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I really
saying.
care what it is.
But I don't want anything too nice because I'm not a very I don't care for things. You know what I mean? Like,
Except
I'm
Kathy,
abusive.
of course, right?
I'm abusive. When I like something, what's that?
Oops. I said except for Kathy.
Oh, no, I didn't
yeah.
abuse
Oh,
her.
thank
Oh,
you. Thanks, Tony.
But I'm not the type of person, like for instance, right, I just picked up another XJ the other day, right? So it's clean, it's nice, but it's got a few dents on it, and Kathy's looking at it and she says, it's clean, but it's denty. And I'm like, yes, and I want it that way. Because if it didn't have a couple of dents in it, then I'd be like, I gotta be careful here, and you go crazy. But since it's got a couple of little, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not perfect, it's like, I like it now. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with things that are very rare or very irreplaceable. You know, I don't want something with a factory aluminum front end because I don't want to cringe or freak out.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a hailstorm's coming, ah! You know, I don't want to, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that would be ugly, wouldn't it?
So, but everybody's different.
Yeah, yeah. No, I do appreciate the old patina and stuff like that. It's cool. Not a big fan of rat rods.
No, neither am I. No, deliberate rattiness, no.
No.
I like the natural
It's something really
decay.
pretty. But one thing I've noticed in the time I've had the shop and driven a lot of different cars in a lot of different states and condition, and a few of my own and stuff as well, is if you've got it like my Mustang, which is really shiny and, you know, looks like an expensive hot rod, you do get, you know, some nice comments, and you'll get people look from a distance, but they don't approach you quite the same. I've also, my daughter's got a little 63 Falcon convertible. She's probably going to do a video on that soon, which is just a survivor car. It's a two lady owner with third now, and the paint's faded and blistering in a few places, but it's a pretty decent, you know, tidy little car. Oh, and people fuss over that. It's like, it's amazing. They wave and they like really wave. They don't just go, you know, they're like, ah.
That's
And
my
people,
experience
I've had
too.
people turn around and follow me into a car park. So, oh, I had one of these when, you know, my mum
That's
had
my
one of
experience
these.
too.
And
You go into a gas station with a nice car.
Yeah.
Okay, something's clean, straight, you know, it's like, it's perfect. And people will look at it, you know, and they'll give you a thumbs up. Pull into the same gas station where some's got a couple of dents in it, a little bit of rust, you know what I mean? And it's like people will walk over to you and they start talking to you. And
they seem to perceive you as being
Yeah.
more approachable.
Yep.
I mean, I'm the same person whether I'm driving. It doesn't matter what I'm driving, but I guess people don't know that. So.
John Sabo says, Kiwi, what happened to your car you were going to take to the No Name Nationals?
That's the Barracuda, which we just didn't make it. We probably missed by about 8 months, I think. This is projected to when it is actually finished. So yeah, that's what happened to that. It got too close, and it's like, man, you know, every other car was fighting us in the shop, and it just wasn't enough time. But it's parked outside there. We're going to continue doing videos on it, doing the little things I want to do to it. And someone asked earlier about what subtle body modifications are going to do to it. One of them's already done, and that's that rear spoiler
Rear
on
spoiler.
it, which, you know, it's not one of these ricer big, you know, 3 foot tall
It's
wings
tasteful.
off the back. It's tasteful, I think it is. Probably going to do a little bit of something on the front wheel arches to create a little bit more room
Okay.
without it looking like it's been hacked up.
Like you did on your Mustang.
Like I did on the Mustang, something like that. Little
Again, you guys, we were talking about this before we went out, because this is a reboot of the first one. If you want to see his personal car, there's the KSV 9000, so go to his channel, which of course you subscribe to, right? Of course you subscribe to Kiwis Country Kitchen Crunchy Cookie something. Cutter,
Yeah.
so of course you subscribe to that, but really go look at the video he did on his own personal car, that Mustang, the KSV 9000. It's just artwork, it's beautiful.
Phil Chambers is asking, does that 67 have the SSGTO slanted body around the back glass? Send Miss Kathy around the back. I can't tell from this angle.
This
What
is
is she on?
the back of the Chevelle.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what they mean. The extended sail panel, I think they're talking about.
No, this one shouldn't.
Oh, sure. Hang on. Okay, what? Yes, it does.
It does?
Yeah.
I'm carrying a big battery. Okay, here, I'll walk over. Point it out, Kiwi, so I can show him.
You say next time. This is what he's asking about, is in here.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure that's what you're asking about, but yeah, this one has that.
okay.
I did a very similar thing to this on my 66 Mustang Coupe, the KSV that Tony's talking about. it did the same treatment on that, and it just slopes the roof out. Imagine this car with that, if this didn't extend back and the bodywork just finished at the glass, it wouldn't look anywhere near as nice.
Okay, cool. Okay, let me try and get back without chipping. Let's see.
You're doing a stellar job there.
Okay.
Didn't she do an amazing
You're
job?
doing amazing.
I'm carrying
I
this
can rent
tripod
her.
and a big battery
Really?
pack. You can do what?
I can rent-
You don't
Rent
know.
me?
God,
I don't think so. That's not how this works.
You throw yourself under the bus, don't you?
Yeah. Let's see. Hemihead 68 is absolutely beautiful. UT is the Mission Impossible 318 project named after the Plymouth satellite in Cars Illustrated that ran a 318 also.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I was waiting for somebody to come up with that connection.
What's up with the Cougar Fastback?
We were just talking about that. It's coming back within a couple of weeks, and we'll,
Hope, yeah. Couple of 2 or more, isn't it?
soon, it's coming back.
Yeah. It is coming back. It's we definitely got a spot booked there for it. We just got to get a couple of cars out of the door. But yeah, that's getting the Coyote motor, 10-speed auto. 10-speed auto. I don't even know how. I don't even start to pretend to
Have
have one of those.
have you ever gotten into one of those transmissions?
No,
No, right?
no.
You're like me.
I
You
believe
draw-
it's
you
a
draw a
five-
line at like torque lights and power glides.
Yeah, 3 years is enough
Right.
for me. Once I get run out of fingers on a hand, then I'm done.
Right.
But no, I believe those 10-speed autos are like a 5-speed auto with the 2
The high-
ratios, the
yeah,
high-low ratio.
high-low ratio.
And they just, with the electronics, they just slip them across and up and down.
They're talking to each other. Hang on. World of Woodchip says, I admittedly cringe when I hear, what year is that? From the other side of the pump. I used to use my truck to meet people. Now I'm doing it for me, and I just want people to leave me alone.
The novelty does wear off.
Let's see. Any updates on the Ford truck? Mike C. wants to know.
It's sitting outside. The lady is picking that up tomorrow, all being well. But it's up and running and doing what it needs to do. We took all the stickers off the doors, and it's not a bad old truck to drive. It's slow, it's got the 6-cylinder in it.
I
It's
would like to
slow.
get her impression, though. I would like to get her, not so much her side of the story, but how she feels about this whole thing that went on.
I can talk to her about it. She should be coming in tomorrow.
I think it's worthy of a follow-up,
Okay. Well, I talked to her before this ever went to film the original
Yeah.
story that she was okay with it.
Yeah, anything we show from his shop, he okays it with the customer first to make sure it's like, we're not doing anything, saying anything we're not supposed to or anything like that, so.
Kiwi, how long are your days at the shop? Do you ever go home?
Been a long day today. I know that. I usually here sort of 8 till 5ish. Yeah.
Banker's hours.
Sometimes 6 o'clock, depends whether
Banker's hours.
if my wife's travelling, then I will tend to stay a little bit later and try and get caught up. But if I get too late, home.
Yeah,
I
it's a hard
get in trouble.
language, you'll get used to it.
It's almost as hard as saying Kiwi classics and custom.
Yeah.
Let's see. Nicholas B says, every time I take my AMC Hornet out, I get, is that a Dart or is that a Nova?
Or my sister had that exact car when we were filling the blank.
Yeah.
Glenn Nickerson says, anytime someone asks about your car, we are an ambassador for the hobby.
That's
It
right.
might be a pain, but it is a compliment. Someone once asked if my Willys Coupe was a modified VW. Just smiled. Yeah, that's what I've done when people have said something ridiculous. I'll just smile.
You're right. The guy was right.
Yeah.
You're right about being an ambassador.
Yeah, just be nice.
I'm always cognizant of that. I never blow anybody off.
No. Let's see. It's better to be nice than right. You don't need to correct them.
That's true. That's true.
Let's see.
Well, but sometimes you correct them so that, you're increasing their knowledge, you know what I mean?
It
It's like,
depends on the situation.
if they're interested enough to walk up to you and ask questions about the car, they probably would appreciate some insight as to what it actually is.
Yeah.
You don't have to say, "You dummy! It's not a Nova!" You don't have to do that, right?
You would think that some people actually do that, though.
No, you tell them, well, no, this is a Duster, and it comes from a period, it's a classic car, they all kind of follow that same basic styling. The Nova came first, and then they did this. And then people appreciate that.
I saw a Duster over in Switzerland.
The old Swiss Duster.
Not a Swift Duster. Swiss Duster.
Swiss, yeah.
It was a Dacia.
A
You heard of a
Dacia.
Dacia? It's a Chinese car. It's an SUV, and it's a Dacia, and it's a Duster.
Really?
Dacia Duster. Nothing to do with Mopar or Chrysler, or anything, they just pitched the name.
Well, they've let that name go for so long, it's probably in the
Yeah.
public domain now.
Yeah. So. But I had to take a picture and send it to a Mopar buddy of mine. And he's like, "What's that shit?"
You have Mopar buddies that aren't me?
Yeah, there's more than one Mopar fan. You might be the king of the Mopar fans, but you do have subjects as well.
Let's see. Somebody's asking, has UT ever turned down a great deal?
I'm a sucker for great deals.
Nobody turns down a great deal, does
No, why would I turn down a great deal?
You haven't?
Well, let's see.
I'm sure that you have on some things.
I did sort of by accident, probably 6 months ago. I had a
Yeah?
guy ring me up and had a 67 or 8 Impala SS 2 hardtop, and he was trying to sell it, and it's like I didn't have time or money to buy it, and I put it off to another friend of mine, sent it towards him, and it turned out it was a big block 4-speed 68 SS Impala.
Oh,
With factory air and a bunch of factory options on it, stuff like that. It was a bit rough around the edges, and he picked it up for like $2.5 grand. And I was like,
I would have told him all of that.
You would have?
Yeah, for that price?
oh
Yeah.
I mean,
What,
it was-
4-speed, 68 Impala?
Yeah.
But he did really well out of that. But sometimes people ring up and they got this car, and in the early days of the shop, I'd get calls like that. And you'd go chasing here and there, looking at cars, and 9 times out of 10 they would jump. And then you kind of get a bit jaded with that, rushing off to look at, looking for.
We start to get, I've kind of given up looking at stuff now. Because everything you go look at is just like wasted.
But like that Duster you got off me, that was like a tip from someone, and
Yeah,
we went out there and it was a little gold mine, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, we both did.
And other. like
You've
other-
still got parts and bits.
Well, that's where that
That's how I was
Barracuda
doing it,
came
right?
from. Yeah. So, that's many years old, but 9 times out of 10, it's.
I had a great deal. I had so like you talk about buying stuff. No, if it's a really great deal, I'll buy it and I'll flip it over, or I'll barter, or do whatever. So, but I've passed up great deals, not having to do with the actual purchase of the car, but the opportunity.
Right.
That I've passed up on a few of them. A couple of them I do regret.
But I'm sure the Stu's going to buy me a nice bottle of Google. Got this Impala.
Corey Littlejohn says, what is your dream engine and car pairing that was never made?
Dream engine. Yeah, fastback Cougar with a soft motor in it.
That was never made.
No, that's what I said, the dream combination. No, they never made it, but what if they did?
Geez, I don't know. Probably like a 340 Colt would have been great. Remember the Dodge Colts?
Yeah.
Right.
With a 340 in it.
One of them with a 340. in it.
We can make one.
Yeah.
That would be. We'll go find one.
The little Colt was a little weak.
I see them for sale.
Thing, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
no, the earlier ones.
Oh, the earlier ones. Yeah. They were lances in New Zealand.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
John M says, Kiwi, what was the absolute worst restoration you had to do?
I haven't brought it to him yet.
Funny.
I did the worst one? As in, like, I guess, I assume you're meaning like the hardest or the roughest car.
Yeah.
Would have been a 53 Lincoln Capri, and that was the first car I did here in the state. I was like, welcome. But yeah, it was beat to death. And someone had done a tap dance on the roof, and the roof was all caved in. And the roof had been sitting in a puddle of water for years, you know, in the caved in roof.
Right.
Yeah, that was hard work. It was, yeah, I'd been used to kind of, you know, hammering metal on, you know, a lot of Japanese stuff back in New Zealand, which you can't hit them too hard or you break them. And, you know, so I started hammering out the roof on this Lincoln Capri, and I'm kind of hammering and dolling it.
And it's not going to work. You're just tapping away. It's laughing at you.
It got myself like a 5-pound sledgehammer, just like from inside the car, wham, and
50s
slowly
metal
around.
was over the top.
Yeah, you can wail on it, and it just turned paper thin and
Like
stretched
even
out.
you guys that work with like 60s and 70s cars, you start getting into like the 50s. We remember that cars from the 40s.
Here's the heat gun.
The metal in cars from the 40s is such a high quality metal in all of its curve.
Yeah.
Everything's got an arch to it.
round,
So
yeah.
like when there's no tapping these things. You get a whale on it to get any type of lift, motion on it.
Thomas Culligan sent $4.99.
Thank you.
Says, Tony and Kiwi, what are your opinions on the Jensen Interceptor?
Jensen Interceptor.
Really heavy. Really ultra super heavy.
Did you get those over here?
No. But people did bring them over.
No, okay.
And I've worked on them. And they're almost like 6,000 pounds.
Yeah.
You know, they're ridiculous. Everything's
They had a
solid.
440 price
Yeah.
about it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember them well. I knew a guy that had one. Back, probably a teenager or 20s or something like that. He got one that had been burnt out. Rewired it all. But yeah, that's a pretty cool
they have
car.
a lot of, come to think of it. I can think of two of them from back on Staten Island. One of them I fixed, but another one I passed on that were electrical fires.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do wire in some funny ways.
Mostly English. You're taking Chrysler wiring, which is sketchy to begin with, and adapting it in an English way.
Right.
And it's a fire.
Right, but no, pretty cool car. Good looking car.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Good looking.
High-end luxury. I mean, you drive one of those things, and the weight adds something. Like the weight is part of it. Like from a car guy, from a hot rod standpoint, it's like weight's the enemy. But when you drive one of them, they're solid. It's like driving like a luxurious
Sporty
sport.
Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
Henny Head 68 sent $4.99.
Thank you.
Says, hope Santa Claus is good to y'all. Thank you, Henny Head. Let's see.
Why are you so close?
Chris,
The
you
noise
gotta
of the heater
speak
going.
up. Yeah, the heater came on.
We'll
It's
get
loud.
frostbite if we don't let it run for a little bit.
Jay Malone says there was a light tan Jensen in Tottenville until recently.
Okay.
Weren't they all light tan? Whenever I picture one, I think of it as being
No, the
light
guy
tan.
knew his was a white one.
Let's see. Corey Littlejohn says, I've often heard the perfect race car has a Mopar motor, a Chevy transmission, and a Ford rear end. What do you two think?
Well, the Ford rear end is definitely the way to go.
I worked with Ford 9 inches in top fuel until 1998. We were one of the last cars on Earth to be using a 9 inch. So, it's not like I'm a stranger to them.
Right.
But for a street car, they take too much power.
Yes. Yeah.
They rock too much power
But here, the gentleman that asked me was for a race car.
for a race car.
The beauty with the Ford 9 inch, and I don't say that it's the best differential out there, but it's as far as being looked after by the aftermarket
Yeah.
and things you can buy for them.
Right.
You can't do the same stuff
Well, that's the
with a
big problem.
12-bolt Chevy that you can do with you can't get the parts to do it.
What's the problem I'm running into with like 8 3/4? I can't
Yeah.
get gears.
Yeah.
You can't get pro gears, it's just street gears.
Yeah.
And 456 is the deepest ratio anybody offers anymore. So, yeah, in that respect, the 9 is definitely.
But the 8.9, my Mustang's got an 8.8.
Those are good rears.
Yeah, the good rear axle, and that engine's 750 horse and 750 foot-pounds of torque, and I destroyed 6 tyres. It doesn't get real easy. And that particular axle was out of an Explorer, Ford Explorer,
Right.
from just down the road here, like a mile down the road. There's Bubba's Recycling,
Okay.
and he would get cars in, kind of like a mini pick-apart. And I got the rear axle out of a high mileage Explorer. It was like $80 for the rear axle. Came with a limited slip. We put a ratio in it, a little bit lower ratio.
And they come with disc brakes.
Yeah, well, we
Is that on your end?
we bin the factory just brakes and put big wheels on it. But yeah, that's an old axle, and it's, you know, I just figured if it breaks, it breaks. We'll figure it out then. $80, you can't go wrong with it.
Let's see. John M says Ford 9-inch is the Chevy small block of rear ends. Parts abound for them.
Yeah, I begrudgingly admit the 9-inch is a great rear. But like I said, to me, it's a poor choice for anything under 500 or 600 horsepower that you're going to, you know, if you're gonna dead hook a 500 horsepower car, then yeah, 9 inches is a great way to go. If that's your goal. But if it's a street strip type of car, it's primarily used for driving, and it's a bad choice because it takes so much power to turn the thing. People right away, they look at the support, the pinion support. You know, that's the one thing that really sets the 9-inch apart from like every other common rear.
Right.
Is that pinion support bearing at the front. But a lot of people don't realize is that if it didn't have that pinion support bearing, the pinion is so low on the ring gear that if it didn't have that support, it would just snap the pinion off. You know? So it's like, and it's that force that is what takes so much power to turn the damn thing.
They came up with that idea to try and keep the drive shaft low, didn't they?
Right, exactly. The purpose of that was because Ford wanted
A
more
lower floor.
rear floor room in their cars, so they dropped the pinion way the hell down. Look, Caddy, the Caddy is the same way.
Oh yeah.
The Cadillac actually the Cadillac has the lowest pinion of them all. Like the pinion is just about working through the exact bottom of the ring gear. But it takes absurd amounts of power to turn it. Yeah. But Ford, they wanted that extra floor room to reduce the hump as much as possible, so they dropped the pinion way down. And as a byproduct, there's more contact area between the ring and the pinion than you have if you move it higher up the ring gear. So that's where strength comes from. But the weakness is the fact that there is so much breakaway, it takes so much breakaway torque to get it to turn. The pinion wants it to deflect, and that's why they put that bearing in there.
Not broken. People seem to think nitrogen's not breaking, they're not broken the fueling, that's all.
Well, we used to take them like, it's like
Yeah, well,
nothing,
it's just a street
nitro
car.
cars, yeah.
It's just a street. Well, a nitro car, yeah.
We used to split nodular center sections like they were nothing.
Does Kiwi have a dream car he has never owned?
I've got several. I get asked that quite often, what would be my ultimate car?
You got to
It's-
ask that about 5 times so far today.
Yeah, it's really hard. To narrow it down to one. There's so many on like a top 10 there. Nice cars. You have to choose one. It's really difficult, and it changes. Like sometimes 12 months you've got a thing for a 58 DeSoto 5. It's a two-door hard job. I think those are absolutely gorgeous, and then you see something else like, oh, that's really nice.
See, what you just said, that's another reason why I tend to stay away from the dream cars, because my dream changes from day to day. You know what I mean? And I'll see something that's just like, it's that short attention span. So I'm like, oh, I want this, I love this is perfect. And then I see something else and it's like, oh, no, that's perfect. I drive myself crazy. So I just stick with middle of the road stuff that I can, and I enjoy just screwing around with it.
Car I'd own is an AMC Pacer.
I love those.
But
Every
just
time
because
I-
they're so ridiculous. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
ugly. And like you could drive anywhere and stop and people will go, well, either what is that? But I haven't seen one of those for 30 years.
Did you drive them? Did you have them up there?
No.
they're actually very comfortable cars. They're ergonomically like,
Really?
yeah, they're spacious. They're good
Yeah.
cars. Weird.
Actually,
Weird
we had a look at one to buy it, and it was too rusty. I got that close to getting one, and it had a broken windshield because money will not buy you a windshield for one of those.
pain in the ass with those things if you ever work on them. They were originally supposed to have a rotary engine.
Really?
Yeah, they were originally AMC was supposed to put. I don't know if it was through Mazda or they were doing their own. An outside contractor was supposed to supply rotary engines, and at the last minute that deal didn't go. And the only thing they had that would fit was the 6-cylinder. The 258 was it? Was it a 258, 252, 258, whatever it was? They're inline six, so it doesn't fit. So it's the back two cylinders are under the dashboard.
Right. Yeah, they must be. Yeah.
So like to do a valve cover gasket or anything on them was a nightmare. You had to break things and.
Key Nelson says to both you guys, any experience with flatheads?
No.
Well,
No.
No. It's just kind of before my, and I'm old, but still before my time.
yeah, I mean, I've during the course of my life, yeah, I've worked on a flathead thing or two, but no experience to say yes. I have this insight, you know. And then,
So they've still got a strong following though.
yeah, because they're cool. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I know the guy that owns TriStar engines, and he builds a couple of engines I've got over here, you know, he does all sorts of engine building. But he just in the last few weeks came across a stash of old flatheads,
Really,
and he bought 350 flathead V8.
really.
Yeah, just wrote the money.
The sound, the exhaust sound on a Ford Flathead or V8 is there's no other engine that sounds like that because the way they route the exhaust, you know, it's I'm gonna explain it. I can't even, it's not a sound I can even really describe, but it's its own special, unique sound that you hear one go by, the way it snores, you know it's a Flathead. It can only be a Flathead.
Oh, it's a cool engine. The guy that owns this building's he's an old boy, properly old boy, but he's got a 42 Lincoln convertible, and it's one that was stretched out. They stretched the hood at the factory, and you can actually see the old weld marks when they added 4 inches to the back of the hood for the V12 flathead. And that is a cool engine. Like, he starts it up and you listen to it, and like as it's cranking, it's got a dead battery.
No, that's right.
It's just like it cranks at about 3.5 RPM, you know, on the battery.
And it'll idle at 300 RPM.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just pops into life and it's just ticking away, and it's like, for the 1940s technology, it doesn't make any horsepower. It's like, I think it's 120 horse or something like that.
See, that's one of the things I really enjoy about the old iron, you know, and that heaviness to them, and that, like, because they'll idle down at 300 or 400 RPM. Well, you can literally watch the fan blades go like this, and they're completely smooth.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a tremendous old engine. And, it's got triple carbs on it and stuff like that. Wow.
Tony Art sent you $9.99 with a animal squeezing a heart.
well, thank you.
Yeah, cute little animal squeezing a heart. Thank you, Tony Art.
What's this?
He says, appreciate you guys teaching us so much. Happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, yeah.
Let's see.
Any questions for this thing?
He hasn't got a very good sense of balance.
No, he doesn't.
No. The whiskey bottle keeps going down by itself, so I think he might have something to do with it.
Let's see. Okay, so what do Tony and Kiwi do when not wrenching?
Sleep.
YouTube.
YouTube.
YouTube videos.
Yeah, making YouTube videos and doing paperwork.
Honestly, if you want to if you want to have any modicum of success in this world of hot rods or YouTube or anything like that, there can be nothing else. That's it. This is what you do. You wake up in the morning and you do this, and then you go to bed, and then you wake up and you do this again, and that's.
There's worse jobs to have, though.
There are worse things. So we get to live the dream.
Not complaining.
We get to live the dream.
Yeah.
But the
Some
price
days
to
I
living the
complain.
dream is that you can't have anything else. Just take it or just nothing else.
Yeah.
This is what you do.
Yeah.
Let's see. The wall says, Uncle Tony, being Italian yourself, I could see you in a Di Tommaso Pantera.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
No?
I'm good. I used to work. I
Kinda
worked,
handy
used to
for
work in a
a-
Petosa Brothers one.
Yeah.
They had a Pantera.
Yeah, I've never driven one of those, but I've seen a few of them.
Yeah, I've worked on it and driven it. Yeah, they were turds. They were turds.
Didn't they have a Cleveland engine on or something? Yeah. Who built them? Where were they built?
You know, I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know.
See, I can see you in an old Ferrari.
No, too much work.
Too much, well,
Too much work. Constant work.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not fun work. There's never anything fun on those. You know what I mean? It's always the spline stripped off of this. You know what I mean? Or the shaft snapped there.
It'll be 3 years to get one.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
If you had to have an exotic car, what would it be?
An E-Type.
An
Yeah.
E-Type.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
That is one of the most beautiful cars ever built.
I marvel at those things. 'Cause they're just perfect from every angle. Like there's no, you look at them from the top, you look at them from the back, you look at them from the side, any angle,
Yeah.
they're perfect.
Yeah.
You know, but they're a nightmare. You know what I mean? They're a nightmare.
What blows my, as a body guy, what blows my mind is the tilt front of them.
Yeah.
It's like 8 feet long. Like the front of them's really long, and then the whole thing tilts up, and it doesn't fold or kink or
Nope.
or you know like.
Which is amazing
fly
because the
away
metal
in
it's
the
made
breeze.
of is like recycled beer cans. Right? You can't appreciate the horrid quality of British metal from that era.
Yeah, but there's some engineering in there.
But the engineering,
to
yeah.
get it up and down without it like going wrong.
Yeah, but if I had to pick one exotic car, it would be an E-Type. And I would just, I put my scarf on, and my gloves,
Yeah.
and I drive out here.
She's got a
I
hat.
drive out here to
She's got a
Franklin.
hat.
Yeah, exactly. And I drive past you.
Would you wave?
And I go like that.
Working,
Yeah.
working down on the side of the road with my pool.
I coast to a stop down the road
Nice.
because my Lucas, whatever it was, failed, and then we can,
Lucas,
Yeah.
there you go.
the Prince of
Lucas
Darkness.
Electric. But yeah, some company in England's building a modernised version of the E-Type. They take an E-Type.
I've seen it.
and it looks like it looks pretty slick.
They're beautiful. I know. I've seen them. But it's not the same.
No.
It doesn't have that. It doesn't have that post-war.
Leaking oil smell.
It's hard to explain. Like
Blows my mind with those, like the V12s. You look at the oil pan, and they've got like 186 bolts holding the oil pan on, like half an inch apart, and they still look good. You still got to put a drip tray under them.
there are some cars, right, that the misery is part of the experience. And that's you like your classic Brit and Italian cars.
Yeah.
That's it. The misery is part of the experience, and you expect it. You embrace it. You know what I mean? It's like the next thing that fails.
No.
You know, but you're not the mechanic. See, the people who have those cars, they're not mechanics. They have their shop that they bring it to, and they're specialists, and they get to. That's all part of the experience, and they look forward to breaking their stuff so they can bring it and have that. I know it's crazy, but it's part. It's like a subculture.
Yeah.
It's like a masochistic, you know.
Yep.
John wants to know what was, quote, turdy about the Pantera. What was turdy?
Well, now this is 30, almost 40 years ago, right? What year is this? It's like 35 years ago. I remember it as being very tacular. You drive, I was on Staten Island, right? So everything is bumps and dips and everything else. And like you drive these cars, and every time you hit a bump or anything like that, everything shakes, everything vibrates. It has a tinny sort of feel to it. They made good power, but my experience with that one that I worked on fairly regularly was not.
That'd have been fairly light, wouldn't they? Were they space frame?
I don't even know. I don't even know. No, I did basic mechanical work to it when this didn't work, and you know.
Did you go to the wrong end of the car very often?
Right, yeah.
Kiwi, you
Oops,
answered
where's
this
the-
already, but you're saying Kiwi grew up presumably in New Zealand. When did he come to the States?
2008. Yep. So, what's it? Yeah, so I'll be 15 years here in January. Yeah, we came here thinking 5 years, maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
No, Tennessee sucks
And
again.
here we are. Yeah.
It's a hard place to leave.
Let's see. Dan Helsing says, I loved watching you work on that red Mopar you had a while back. That was really cool. Were you working on a red Mopar?
Red Mopar.
Were you working on a red Mopar? Who's working on a red Mopar?
Red Mopar.
Red Mopar.
Okay.
Just say
It
yeah,
has to be
was
you,
great.
Kiwi.
What's that?
It has to be you. Was it the Barracuda? Is the Barracuda red?
No, the Barracuda's more of a rust brown now. It wasn't-
Okay.
But the Barracuda was always grey. Red Mopar.
Red Mopar.
It's late on Friday and I'm having bourbon withdrawals and I don't.
He says it
don't
was a
recall.
friend's. A friend's red Mopar.
There was the red Duster that we did for Paige that we went to go look at. Red.
Was it
red
Tony
Mopar.
or was it me? I guess is the question. That would narrow it down a bit.
All he says is yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I guess it was the Duster. Maybe? I don't know. Or it could be the satellite that
That's green.
No, the other one that you went to look at when you did the buyer's guide.
Oh, right, yeah. I can't think. I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah,
I
okay.
probably did a whole series on a red Mopar, and I've
I
completely
don't
forgotten.
remember a red Mopar.
I don't know.
Next.
I do find myself forgetting more and more shit these days.
How old are you?
Me?
Yeah.
61.
Oh, you're older than me.
Yeah.
An old timer.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't look as old as you though.
that's true.
Funny. Okay. Let's see. What were some weird differences between American cars in New Zealand and here in the States you recall?
Yeah, weird differences. Well, the stereo, they did bring quite a few American cars into New Zealand, and they were right-hand drive from the factory. Like I had a '67 Impala that was right-hand drive, and a '63 Dodge, and a lot of them were right-hand drives.
Right.
And because they sold quite a few new American cars in New Zealand, so they had to be right-hand drive. But it was only models that the factories here would make in right-hand drive. They didn't, like a Ford and Chevy and Mopar didn't make all their cars in right-hand drive as well. They just selected certain models.
See, I've never worked on a right-hand drive Mopar, but I cannot imagine how difficult it must be to get around everything on the right side of the car. Because Chrysler offsets all of their drivetrains 1 3/4 inches to the passenger side.
I wonder if they, and I don't actually honestly know, but I wonder if they move them
No,
the other way.
They base it off the rear end. So the center section of the rear is the center section of the rear is centered.
Oh, so your drive line's
The
straight.
drive line is off the pinion, and it's 1 3/4 inches to the passenger side.
Huh.
So now you take a right-hand drive car, and now you've got to stuff the master cylinder, the steering, and anything else having to do with the operation of the car, the shift linkage and everything, all has to be jammed into this space that's 1 3/4 inches narrower than the other side of the car.
Because Mopar in Australia they made a huge amount of Mopars, and although most of them were based off the A body
With the slant six.
and the V8s.
But I'm just saying, a slant six A body with the steering box
Oh.
interfering there where the distributor and the oil pump and everything
Yeah,
else
yeah,
is.
yeah.
It's like, it's
Yeah.
gotta be brutal.
I wonder if they. I don't know. I'd have to do some research on that. Whether they made the rear axle different in those Aussie built ones. No,
If
no.
there was, I'm
That's
sure I
a
would
good
have
question.
heard of
That
it.
would certainly be one of the weird things different, but there was a huge amount of 50s, like the Tri-5 Chevys were very popular in New Zealand, all right-hand drive, and all of them were four-door sedans. They didn't
Well-
do any coupes or convertibles.
Well, I know, like, if you look at the way the dashboards are laid out on those Tri-5 Chevys, you can see they're symmetrical like that, so that you could obviously just pop the steering column and the gauge over to one side, and you know, it was like a deliberate, intentional,
Yeah.
you know.
But the guy that has the Cougar Fastback, we're also building a '64 Fairlane for him, which is getting a Cossey mode, John Cossey, like 600 cubic
Now,
inch
if
big
you
one.
need a teardrop scoop for that, don't bother buying one, because I have
You
figured
have
out a
the
way.
perfect one, yes.
to duplicate,
I'll
yes.
be sure and let Richard know about that one. He's probably all about it.
Hey, wait, is people subscribed to him?
Everybody's subscribing to
Is there anybody
Kiwi.
in this live feed right now that is not subscribed to Kiwi? I can't believe that's possible, but
Get over there and do it.
yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Bill McKiska sent $5.
Thank you, Bill.
Did Chrysler ever offer a 318 with a 4-barrel in a car or just the trucks?
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Domestically,
Doesn't say.
318 Polyhead had a 4-barrel option in 61 and 62. That was a Polyhead. There are no 4-barrel 318 LA motors until you get to the police package in 1986. But that's domestic. Now marine and industrial both had 4-barrel options or 4-barrel setups on the 318. It's a very low-rise, single-plane 4-barrel intake manifold. And I think that the ones that they sent to South America and to your part of the world, I think also had 4-barrel options.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Well, pretty sure the Australian builder had the 4-barrel as an option.
You guys didn't get the 340 out there, right?
No. 360, 318.
Yeah. See, they didn't get the 340, so they got a 4-barrel version of the 318.
Let's see.
And the South American market.
Yeah, don't know much about that.
Richard Rogers says, I hear there's a 67 fastback Cougar out there somewhere, supposed to be getting a Coyote and 10R80. Has anyone seen it? Question marks.
Yeah, I deserve that. That's my customer with the fastback Cougar. He's having a little. Yeah, we're running a little late on that one, but
So
sorry, Richard.
So you're from that part of the world. Tell us everything you know about Antarctica and the alien and Nazi bases there.
Not a thing. And there's a lot of ice there.
Yeah.
I do know that. And penguins and shit
The
like that.
flat Earth people claim that ice is actually an ice wall
Right.
that goes around the plane that we're on and wraps over the top of us to create a thing.
A thing.
Yeah.
A thing.
So tell us everything you know about that.
You just did. You just told me everything I know about that.
All right. But do they really have Nazi bases? Secret Nazi?
I have heard of that, yeah.
You have? So, confirmed. There you go.
That doesn't mean it's confirmed. That means I've
Kiwi,
heard-
get your foil
I've
hat
heard-
out.
Nazi bases on Antarctica from a guy who lives there.
Oh my
A bit of
goodness.
work to do on your geography there, but
There's going to be a clip of this on Alex Jones tomorrow. This is the length I go through to get hits. I even get picked up on E-Bounds World and whatnot. So yeah,
Michael
I'll teach you the whole YouTube game.
So you're gonna take this down. Let's see. Kiwi does awesome work. Watch his channel.
Oh,
Michael
thank you.
says. Let's see.
I've actually got a Mustang coming in next year that's coming up from Florida. Who's the UTG guy that got onto me
Oh really?
via you, and he's bringing this car from Florida to get me
Nice.
to do some work on it. That's going to be after Richard's.
What kind of car is it?
You're only saying it because he's watching. Nothing goes before the Cougar.
Sorry, what sort of car? 66 Mustang Fastback.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've done one or two of those in my day.
They're literally everywhere. Every time I come by here, there's a whole
There's
other
Mustangs everywhere, yeah.
tribe of Mustangs.
Let's see.
I love the color on that one.
Yeah, it's a cool car.
Pretty.
What is that? Like a,
That's
Oh, I
actually
have
a
to point the
BMW
camera
car.
that way.
is it? You're not going to be able to pick up that color.
It's
A little bit.
It's called Barbera
pretty.
Red, not Barbara, but
Or
Barbera.
bear red.
Yeah, and it's
It's like a black cherry.
Kind of.
Kinda.
Yeah. It really looks good in the sun. You get the UV
Yeah.
light on it, and it really pops. That's just about ready to fire up. Got all the selector linkage and all that sort of stuff done on it today. And, that's got that car's got an electronic, like a 4R70 SSW something transmission in it.
Zap-O-Matic.
Yes. But it has its own computer, its own little brain that makes it run. And yeah, that's been an exercise in wiring. A lot of wiring. Throttle position sensors and yeah, all sorts of stuff. Like just a wad of wiring. There's about as much wiring in the computer that controls the transmission, there normally isn't a whole
whole car.
But it has two different. You can have like a high performance program in the transmission, or just a cruise program. You just hit a button, and it changes how it changes, like a sport mode.
Honestly, bro, I cringe when people tell me about stuff like that, because all I see is a failure. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, this thing's it's gonna function fantastic until, you know what I mean? And then there's that soldered connection, or the circuit board, or the chip that goes, and it's like, where do you even start?
You have to download an app onto your phone, and then
Yeah, see, right there.
Bluetooth it to your phone.
Right, yeah.
You put in all the parameters and what diameter tires you've got and diff ratio.
And then your phone takes it up.
So Marie Dorflinger Slee
Hello, darling.
says, what is Kiwi Kev's favorite car? Also, when can Kiwi's wife expect to see her car finished? 2028?
That's that. Sorry, what, mate?
About the same time Uncle Kathy sees our car now.
Right.
Kev's favourite car is the KSV 9000, obviously. Next year.
Next year.
No, that's only 2 weeks away. So
Yeah.
You better get cracking, Kiwi.
yeah, I better get cracking. Yeah.
Dude, where does
That's
yours
going to be
go?
an interesting car. The car for my wife.
What is it?
It is a 61, so it's a good year. It's the year I was born. Sunbeam Alpine.
Nice.
Little, if you guys ever watched one of the first Bond car movies.
Was that what Get Smart? No, it's
Yeah,
Tiger.
Get Smart had one. Well, it was a Sunbeam Tiger, which is
Right.
an Alpine with a 260
Right.
V8 in it. So yeah, going to build one of those.
Nice.
But it's going to be Kiwi.
Uh-oh.
Very cool.
So,
It's going to be covered with this.
no, I don't think so. Yeah, that's going to be widened, stretched, modified. 430 horse small block in it.
And you're how old? Are you going to get this done?
Yeah, hopefully before I'm 62.
Oh, jeez.
John
He's a
M.
beast. This guy knocks stuff out like this. Like
John
like
M.
nothing.
says, how much to cut in front of Richard with my cougar?
Well, since I'm his agent,
Are you the agent now?
as of,
You'll
yeah.
have to deal
Okay.
with Tony, and of course being Italian, like greasing the palms makes
Well,
a huge difference.
We'll make it.
We could possibly start on it yesterday if you took him enough.
Marie says Kiwi hates it. You hate her car?
No?
No?
All he talks about is your car. All he ever talks, I come here, I'm like, Kiwi, what's going on? And he's like, my beautiful wife, her wonderful car, it's all amazing. I'm like, dude, let's talk about cars. I can't stop talking about my wife and my God, her car. It's crazy. It's embarrassing. I tell you the truth.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine what the next comic's going to be?
Let's see. Chronicle 83 says, what is happening with the Sidewinder Mustang that the firewall was modified?
The side, that'll be this one over here, Sidewinder. I can't even know who to call that. That is just waiting its turn. Honestly, we just got a few of the projects are really dragging their tails, like this Mustang. I was just talking about the transmission and stuff. That's taken an extra 3 or 4 days just to work through getting the transmission working.
But you've been doing updates on that Mustang.
A little bit, yeah. We're just trying to rotate them through and do a little bit on this car and a little bit on this car and try and keep everybody happy, which is
You can't keep
not
everything
working particularly well, but I'm doing my best, and we're not taking any more work at the moment. We're not taking any more work, and we just got to get caught up. So, but yeah, that'll be the new year before we hit back on that Sidewinder Mustang.
How are you doing with the channel?
The channel's going pretty good. We're up to just over 9,000 subscribers now, which is
Oh,
pretty
should be over
cool.
10,000 tonight.
Get
That's
over there and
every single
subscribe to
person who
Kiwi's
watches.
Classics and Customs.
Kiwi Classics and Customs.
I'm making
Karate.
you look bad.
Shop.
It's not that hard, Tony.
Kiwi's crunchy karate.
Kicks.
Kicks.
I had one guy, bless his heart, as they say in the South here. He was very upset about you not getting my channel name.
Oh, please. I saw that.
Yeah. And his heart's in the right place. But it's just like, it's
But his head is in his salad.
Oh, don't be
No, I
mean.
mean, he was sticking up for me, saying it's rude that he doesn't know. And it's like, it's okay, man. He knows exactly what the name of my business is and the channel.
Kiwis, cabinets, and croissants.
Right.
But see, it makes people remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it becomes a talking point,
Yeah.
so all publicity is good publicity, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah.
See, so you're over 9,000 subs now.
Yeah.
How many videos you putting out like a day? Because we do like
It's being away, being out of the country. I was hoping to do some videos like we went to Europe for 2 weeks, and I was hoping to do some stuff over there of what was going on there. But man,
That would have been cool.
It would have been, but I just came up blank. We just, I approached a few different people and a few different classic car yards and shops to see what they were doing, and just got a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
The same thing happens with us. We'll go to an event or whatever it happens to be, and on the way there, we're like, okay, let's try to find this, let's try to do that, let's do the other thing, let's check this out, and it's like, you get there, and it's like, yeah, let's just get out of here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Hemihead68 wants to know, what are those bundle of green wires and one single red wire below the Kiwi in front of the vehicle's radiator?
We actually did a video on this.
Yeah, we did.
We did a video on this. It's a universal harness that somebody had started putting in this car, and they, I guess they became overwhelmed.
Yes.
So-
Yes, definitely. I am not responsible for this.
Right.
I will be.
Blame it on the
Once we
thing.
straighten. He could do better than this. Don't break his ankle. That's our headlight wiring. As far as I can tell, it appears to be.
Yeah, and there's
It's kind of like-
fan wiring
It's
too.
jammed in here between the radiator core support and the
Yeah.
radiator. So you got a nice hot radiator and hot wires.
Yeah. Somebody was very, very drunk.
But I mean, they put the harness in, and it drove in. I drove it into the shop today, and so they got it wide enough that it would run, but then just realised that wiring harnesses are a little bit harder than they look.
Cordell B wants to know, being in Franklin, has Kiwi rubbed elbows with any celebrities?
Yeah.
Me?
Done well. Yeah. Uncle Tony,
Obviously,
but,
Tony.
he's he kind of sneaks under the radar into Franklin every now and again.
They let him in.
Gets past border control and gets into Franklin, and then he has to like not stay too long. Right, people will find out. Mike Wolf was one of them. American Pickers, did quite a bit of work for him.
We saw that episode.
He's got
Yes.
Yeah.
He's got his his own little shop going on down in Columbia now with another guy. There's a band, Thompson Square, country music duo. Done a bit of work for them. There's been a few of them, but I mean, some of them they don't like you talking about them. It's that whole privacy thing. So.
He's got to keep a low profile.
Yeah.
Not me, but they some of them do like to. So yes, I mean, there's definitely there's a few famous people around Franklin for sure.
Let's see. Let's see the engine in that Chevelle. Okay. We did a video on this, didn't we?
Yeah.
Here you go. There's the engine.
It's a
in
pretty
the
stout
Chevelle.
engine by the sound of it.
I like those valve covers. Those are beautiful.
Oh, the
valve
old school
covers.
fin valve
Yeah.
covers, you can't beat them really, can you?
No.
But it's a pretty stout engine. Certainly
There you go.
sounds the business anyway.
Got to get a spacer on that carburetor.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But just as far as I know, it's a 350. It could have been stroke, could have been 383, I don't honestly know.
Okay, so Martin says, I need help, Kiwi. I have low oil pressure in my 351 Cleveland. 15 pounds at idle, 20 at 3,000 RPM. What is normal oil pressure?
15 pounds at idle is not too bad.
Hot idle.
A hot idle. Typically your light will come on about 6 or 7 pounds, won't it?
It was 7 pounds on a Ford. 7
Seven?
pounds on Ford in price.
Right. 15 pounds is fine. What did you say? 30 at
20.
20 at 3,000. That's a bit low, isn't it?
20 at 3,000?
Yeah,
Yeah, that is low.
that is a bit low.
You got a stuck bypass. You got
Could be.
a stuck bypass. Because at idle, right, that 15 pounds seems like it's low, but it's really not. And it's supporting the lifters, it's doing anything it's supposed to.
Mm.
But as the RPM comes up,
Mm.
the bypass is letting a lot of it,
Allowing too much to go by.
yeah.
Yeah, that could definitely be it. Could be worn bearings too, couldn't it?
Well, if it was worn bearings at
You wouldn't
hot
have it
idle,
idle.
it
Yeah,
would be
be
much
bad.
lower
That's-
and it would be
that's true.
ticking and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say oil, the bypass in the oil pump is not closing completely.
Mm. Typically, you want about 10 psi per 1,000 RPM.
I go for 7 per thousand.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
right? On bottle rocket, right? I went extra when I had the crank cut. I went an extra 1,000th on the rods and the mains, and I went a 5-weight synthetic in it. So at idle, and it's got a low pressure, low volume pump in it. So at idle, it has 2 psi. but it revs like a chainsaw. You hit the gas, it's just wham, and she jumps right up.
Mm.
J. Russell Finch says, what is the most frustrating part of the business today? Shipping times, quality of aftermarket parts, etc.?
Today, it's availability of parts, really. Shipping time has slowed down from what it was. But, instead of stuff coming in 2 days, it's 3 days. It's not the end of the world by any means. And, 3-4 years ago, pre-COVID, you'd get stuff often overnight without paying for overnight delivery, depending where it was coming from. But really, it's the availability. Like when I go shopping for parts now, for somebody's project, you've really got to click on. The first thing you look at is not the price. You look at, is it available, and if it's in stock, you hit buy now.
See, that's something
You've
I've
got to
been
buy it.
finding.
You see it, you buy it, because I've been caught several times going, I can probably find that a bit cheaper over at this website. Then you go over there and you don't, and you come back and they're gone.
I found that today.
Gone.
I was seriously, I came across that today because I'm building an engine for like a mule engine to test
Right.
different things on. And I was like, well, let me start ordering up parts for this thing. And I kept coming across not in stock, not available yet, delay on this and delay on that. A lot of common parts were just not, like stuff that you would expect. Okay, I'll have it here tomorrow. Not in stock.
Mm.
Well,
Yeah. But, and the other thing, some of the big parts places like the Summits and Jigs and places like that, you go in there and it'll have a date. It'll be like popular date is it'll be available 31st of December. And then so like this was back in July.
right.
It'll be 31st of December, and you go back a month, 2 months later just to sort of see if there was any updates, and it would be March. They keep putting it out, and I talked with one of the sales reps there, and he said that we have to put something on there.
Right.
That they have to put a date, and basically they come up with a an imaginary number, put it in, and then change it as it's needed. So yeah, that makes it difficult. It's made it the last 6 months of this year quite difficult, because you're expecting stuff to come in and it doesn't come in. Sometimes you've ordered stuff and it's 3 months away, and then it'll come in 6 weeks.
That's a
And
big
you've
problem.
already put another job in its place because you're not going to have it, and then the stuff arrives and you can't really build a customer and without putting it in, installing the part, and a lot of time juggling. And
That's a big
what's
issue with a
frustrating.
shop this size, because you've got so many cars to move around.
Yeah.
And it's like, you got this thing on the lift, and it's like, okay, well, in your mind, it's like, well, have this done in a couple of hours. And it's like, no, it's gonna be a couple of months.
Yeah.
Now what do you do with this?
And it's some
Right.
stupid shit. I waited, it was 5 weeks for a high volume fuel pump for a small block Ford.
Yeah, see, it's just insanity.
It's like,
Los Cadaver says, tonight I breached 200 horsepower in a slant. 202 horsepower.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
pretty
that's
good.
awesome.
That
That's
is,
pretty good.
that's a stout, I'm assuming it's
He
normally
says
aspirin.
boost, long duration cam, dish pistons, and a dream.
Well, congratulations.
well done.
Let's see. Where are we at? Hope they're talking to each other. Hang on. They're all excited about
Subscribing to Kiwi.
subscribing to Kiwi. That's right. Um,
But no, video-wise, yeah, done very poorly in the last 3 weeks.
Well, you got to get with it, man.
Yeah, I got to get with it. But yeah, it's a battle. It's a battle. Just time, and being out of the country for a couple of weeks kind of put a big hole in it. And this week, I've been back this week, and it's just been all go. And doing stuff like 3 days setting up the transmission in this Mustang. That doesn't make a great video.
No.
But it's got to be done too, putting badges on fenders for that finishing stuff. It's not exciting for me or for anybody really.
No, that's the thing. To make content, we were just talking about that with Kathy today. So like I shot that video yesterday about welding the cracks in the block, right?
Mm.
But the night before, it was 5 hours of tearing this thing apart and cleaning things and putting messes away, and you know what I mean? It's like people don't realize.
Yeah.
There's a lot of YouTubers that'll just set the camera up, you know what I mean, and like show you, like they'll fast forward to it all. You go like this, and
Yeah.
and it's like, to me, that's just like self-serving. Nobody's getting anything out of that.
No.
All you're doing is just stretching out video. You're wasting the viewer's time while they watch you rush around. You know what I'm saying?
could you tell people that you rolled a cigarette?
I rolled a
'Cause-
cigarette.
Yeah, I know. They said it looks bad.
It's a cigarette.
It's a
Just
cigarette.
I roll my own.
Okay. Let's see. Talking to each
So yeah,
other.
there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes into making videos.
Yeah.
That, it's like, how many hours a day do I spend doing this, that, and the other thing, so they can get 5 minutes worth of video out of it?
But yeah, there'll be a couple of days easy work on this doing wiring, and we could probably make a video out of that.
Yeah, but you're not gonna
But
set the
not a-
camera up and
but not-
show
not a-
yourself rushing around in the car.
Okay, where the hell do I put
We have
those
10
wires?
minutes.
Damn it.
Right. What's that?
Yeah, we're almost at the 2 hour mark. We
Are
have
we
10
really?
minutes. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, this flew.
Time flies when you're in the presence of greatness.
I know.
The Portland Fly Shop says Kiwi. What's the most memorable car you've been a part of and why?
You told me about that rally car that you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a few stories. Honestly, a little bit sounds a bit maybe a bit conceited. I don't know, but the Mustang that I built, my KSV, that we took that to SEMA, and I'd been to SEMA once before. I flew over from New Zealand, went to SEMA, and SEMA is just amazing, especially from a little guy from little old New Zealand, and building that car and then being asked to display it there.
Right. Now, he didn't just park it in the parking lot. He actually had a legit display at
Yeah,
SEMA,
it
which
was
is
on
a
the
great honor.
on the Trick Flow Technologies, which did all the cylinder heads and stuff. It was on their booth, in Hot Rod Alley in the main hall. So that's where you want to be.
Yeah.
And I remember we pulled into SEMA. There's this massive amount of stuff going on. People are trying to set up their displays, and there's cars and semis, and it's just going off. This is before it opens, and we're getting it in there, and I'm looking around at the cars, and I'm like, wow, I don't know whether I belong here, and because there was some really trick cars go to SEMA, and so anyway, the next day the show opened, and the car was just a hit. It just hit a chord with so many people, and I was just standing back watching people photographing, and at one point there was people crouched down along one side taking photos, and there was people stood behind them taking photos, and I'm like, wow, it was so surreal. It's like, wow, people like my car, and that was very humbling.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it
That's
was,
awesome.
and that yeah, it's.
You forget all of the sweat and all,
Oh,
of,
yeah,
and
yeah.
all of the, you forget all of that when it.
Yeah, and I hurt this is going back, obviously back to 2014, I think we were at SEMA, and I'd hurt my knee with a couple of weeks out from the deadline to get it on the transporter, and just push through and just work through. And you know, my knee was swollen like horribly. And you just push through, and they ended up like the transporter came and picked up the car, and they picked it up, dropped the doors, went home, into bed, and got up basically to get on the plane to go to Vegas. And yeah, that's the kind of pain that disappears when all these people are oohing and ahhing about your car.
So chip foos,
Yeah.
Illuminati?
A 672E Galaxy wants to know, where can we see this car?
We'll
On his
do a
channel.
video of it. I'll try and bring it. It was a few weeks ago. I'll try and bring it up. But yeah, the other thing you can do is if you Google KSV 9000, like 9000, there's a bunch of pictures, footage, videos.
But he did a walk around. He did
I
a great
did a
walk
water
around on his channel.
which will show you if I can. You talk and sound intelligent, don't you? And I'll look at this.
Sean Russell sent us
Sorry,
two
was that too
Canadian.
tough?
Thank you. What's that?
Was that too tough?
Yeah, you caught me off guard.
Funny. Good night, Corey Boy BC.
He is Illuminati, isn't it?
Who, Foos?
Yeah.
No.
Reptilian?
He's a good dude,
He's
actually.
a
He's a good
shapeshifter.
dude. Shapeshifter. You're insane.
From Cold Wars.
Oh my goodness.
So how much time we got left?
Like 7 minutes.
Oh my God.
7 minutes.
7 minutes, which is
Till
just
9
enough
o'clock.
time
Yeah.
for every single person who's watching this to go over to Kiwis and subscribe.
Oh, here it is. The video is Kiwis Garage sneak peek.
Kiwis Garage sneak peek.
And when did that? Whoop.
Such stage presence.
Yeah.
Chris Logan is watching from Tauranga, New Zealand.
Taronga.
Oh, Tauranga. Sorry.
Tauranga. Yeah.
Keep up the
excuse
good
me,
work.
Tauranga.
How you doing, bud? What's happening in Taronga tonight?
Let's see.
Tonight?
This-
Today.
he's-
Probably it's today over
He's
there.
got a shrimp on the
See,
Barbie.
Not a freaking Australian.
Gabriel wants to know, you're going to pressure test that 361 block before assembly?
No, it's
You
fine.
know, you're just going to let it
It's
go.
fine.
You're going to make everyone crazy. Go subscribe to Kiwi, everybody.
Listen to me. I could see as I'm welding it. Like you guys are watching me weld it from a distance, right? But I can see through my glasses and through the lens. I can see the metal flowing evenly from one side of my V to the other. So I know for certain that it's sealed up and it's got penetration.
You got it, Kiwi?
Yeah, it was on. We posted on the 23rd of October.
Okay.
And yeah, Kiwis Garage sneak peek.
Okay.
And that's like about a 12-minute video and just a walk around, a lap of the KSV 9000.
It's 12 minutes, but it feels like 7 minutes 41 seconds. It just flies.
It is a pretty good video, even if I do say so.
No, dude, it's a great video.
But I do need to take it for a test drive. Actually, do a video with a test drive on.
See, I enjoyed that video. It's like most videos I watch because I have to watch it or I'm looking for something or whatever. But I watched that video and I enjoyed that video probably because you're my friend and I was like looking at the car through your eyes. You know what I'm saying? But just the same, I actually enjoyed watching that video. If you could do more like that, that would be
Yeah, I have actually got a really old one. I actually posted a video in 2012 of the build-up of that car, one little section of it. I just, for whatever reason, I got a flea
That
in
would
my
be
ear and posted a video back in 2012. The car didn't even have a rear axle in it, but we've done some of the body work. And then I just kind of forgot about YouTube.
do it before and after an update.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that footage is there. I just put it on private
How many-
when I launched the channel.
How many subs you got now? How many we pick up tonight?
Terrence Seymour says, I'm in Tai Happy, New Zealand.
Tie happy, gumboot capital of the world.
What is it? The
Gumboot capital of the world.
gumboot.
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 Like a
Boots.
Wellington boot, like a rubber farmer's boot.
Oh, she has chicken boots.
I have chicken
Chicken
boots.
boots? Yeah,
I
could
guess
be
they're like
similar.
gum boots.
But yeah, they're just a rubber boot you slide your foot into. There's no laces or anything.
Oh, nice.
You can walk around in 18 inches of cow crap and not get it round your ankle.
Nice.
Yeah, perfect. But hopefully he'll be getting a laugh from it. You've got to be a Kiwi to understand that gumboot capital thing.
You guys are really
what am I
big into
doing?
the burn barrels out there now, the turbocharged burn barrels.
Burn barrels?
You haven't seen this?
You mean the burnout competition?
No, burn barrels. They take they take these compressors, like an old air compressor.
Yeah.
Like, picture like a 50-gallon
Justin
compressor.
Billington just subbed to Kiwi.
There you go.
Thank you, Justin.
Oh, we picked up 50 subscribers.
That's it.
Nice.
I'm disappointed. I'm crushed, actually. I would.
9,301. So I'm not sure who the one is.
Oh.
What was him?
Yeah,
There
that was
you go.
Justin.
Who's going to be 9,302?
Who's going to be number 10,000? That's the question.
Well, you have to give them.
Los
some sort of
Cadaver sub to Kiwi. Thank you. Everybody get over there. Sub to Kiwi.
1,302. There you go.
Nice.
All happening live.
Nice.
So they take they'll take like a compressor,
Yeah.
okay, and they open it up in such a way that they can fill it with a flammable. Most of them use wood, a couple of them use coal and stuff like that, and then they mount a turbocharger on it, and they feed the air back into it. Yeah, it's crazy, and it's it's all these Australians and New Zealand people that are doing these things now, and they're turbocharged.
We can be a bit crazy.
Yeah,
We can be a bit crazy. The Aussies, they love their burnout content.
and the
Yeah,
shrimp
really.
that
And the shrimp.
that they throw in the bar.
Terrence says we have the largest gum boot in the world and boot throwing competition.
That's right. There was a gumboot throwing competition, an annual competition,
Nice.
We
and
had
some of the ladies that throw a long way, they'd fuck you up.
Okay.
We used to have the world's largest cedar bucket. In
Somebody
Murfreesboro.
burned it down.
Somebody burned it down.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
We had the world's largest cedar
Put
bucket.
a turbo blower.
No, it's just a regular cedar bucket.
Right.
And somebody burned it down.
Corey Littlejohn says after the live I'm subbing. Perry Ford just says just subscribed.
Look at this, see?
Nice. Thank
Did
you,
you catch
everybody.
I gotta make some videos now so they can watch. But we got a few on.
So
on
stop
file,
stealing his
so-
content, Tony. He needs
I
it
need to stop
because
stealing your
people
content.
have to
I have
watch
to stop coming over
his
here
own
and stealing
stuff.
your content.
Oh yeah, that's going up. It's gone up like 10 more. We just since we left.
Nice. You guys are awesome.
Thank you, everybody.
We have the greatest community,
We
I
do.
believe, in all of
Yeah.
automotive YouTube.
Yeah.
And you're going to start doing your own live?
Curtis Morris,
I
Kiwi
guess so,
subscriber
yeah. I mean,
just
if
now.
You guys, let me know. You want to do? You want me to do a live feed, lives?
Yeah, you should do one like Friday nights.
Kevin just subbed.
So if he started doing Friday Night Lives at his shop, would you guys tune in?
Greatness attracts greatness.
Greatness and trade. There you go.
Randy Bowers subbed. Yes, John says.
Yeah. Make it a regular thing.
Clown 83 says, yes, Kiwi, do it. Hemi says, yes, absolutely. Hemi head. Of course.
I might do it from my place, then I can have a little
Yeah.
some refreshments.
Refreshments. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Surprised you didn't
Zolly
put a
says,
layout
yep.
for us.
You don't drink, do you?
No, not even. I mean, just
Snacks,
buffet
you
would
know.
have been good. Some Alfredo,
Right.
maybe Swedish meatballs. You know what I mean? I just saying.
It's the difference between Kiwis and Italians.
Right, exactly. See, I would have had a layout. but
Where's the
that's all right.
charcuterie board?
I'm going to get a hard time about this when I get home now.
The
Rose
antipasto.
She's going to say, I told you should have. Because she did say, what are you giving them for food? What
Well,
are you-"
she's right.
Well, apparently. I love you, darling.
And should we tell? I guess we should.
What?
So there's a new blog. Right?
No, don't, no,
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it.
No,
I gotta
don't
put
say
you
it
on the
yet. No,
spot.
please don't.
Why?
Because I'm not even anywhere near getting it up.
She's
No,
working
not
on
yet.
She's working on a blog. She's working on a
Oh,
blog.
not
Right? It's
yet.
going to be a food
Please.
Okay.
Why
Right?
must you?
blog, and it's going to be called. Ready for this one? Ready for this one? Feeding Uncle Tony.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
Because I'm such
Feeding
a
Uncle-
picky. I'm a
Oh,
foodie,
really?
right?
A
I'm
what?
a foodie.
A foodie,
I
yeah.
love food, but I'm picky. Like picky. Everything's got to be just exactly so. It drives me crazy.
Like with your cars.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she is going to do a blog on how she does food for a picky asshole,
Well, and just how I do food in
and
general.
how she does food in general.
The stuff that you won't eat.
Stuff that I won't eat. Yeah.
Gabagool, yeah, little
Gabagool,
fresh
yeah.
muds.
Right, so that's something for you guys to look out for.
Yeah, in the
Feeding Uncle
future.
Tony.
I'm not there yet. I'm working on it.
There you go.
I hope to get some good meals out of this.
Like you don't get good meals now.
Better meals.
Oh my goodness.
You're digging yourself a hole, Tony.
Yeah. All right.
It's what I do.
Another subject, Kiwi. Hoobie's Garage. Thank you, Hoobie.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Killing me, Tony. All right, everybody. Thank
So-
you so much.
Yes, thank you, everybody contributed to Super Chat and just chat in general. Mods, Ari, John, well, John, yeah. Yeah.
Ari, Fubar Zero.
Guys, thank you so
Yes,
much.
thank
We
you,
love
guys. Thank
And
you.
everybody who just contributed with your presence, and everybody contributed by subbing to Kiwi.
Yeah,
An up and coming future YouTube like icon of,
Greatness.
greatness and beyond.
Chiseling your own likeness.
Mattson just subbed. Okay.
All right.
All right, everybody.
Okay, thanks,
We'll see you
guys.
for our regular Sunday night, this Sunday night, 7 o'clock.
I'm gonna try and do a video tomorrow because we got a busy morning tomorrow. We're doing a few bits and pieces.
Excellent. If you need to rent
Do
Uncle
some-
Kathy, I can drop her off.
What?
There's no problem. $65 an hour.
Yeah.
Will Kev get his own live?
Well, Kev get his own line. Yeah, we're just working on someone to put their hand up as.
Oh,
so he
he's
can
over
talk.
there. I can put my hand in his ass, no problem.
Unsubscribe,
How often
Tony.
do you hear
Sub
that?
Kiwi.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay. I don't know what's going on here.
don't
Good
either.
night, Johnny C. Unfinished project. Everybody, good night. Thank you so much.
Good
Thanks,
night, all.
guys.
See you
ya.
tomorrow.